Mammut Barryvox S. This is probably the most user configurable and therefore complicated transceiver that we at Face West sell. It's a very interesting transceiver, so it can be fully automatic, just a straight digital transceiver with signal masking and transceiver counting, very similar to most of the other transceivers, but it also has the ability for the user to turn these features on or off, configure them to behave slightly differently, or even to use the transceiver in completely analog mode, in the old style where you could actually hear the input signal as it comes into the transceiver, and you can, with a lot of practice and experience, you can actually gain quite a bit of information from listening to the raw input signal. Okay, so the reason it's designed like this is in certain very rarely occurring situations it's great to be fully digital transceivers can become a bit confused and they don't always do the right thing, but I must stress that these situations are quite rare. So in those situations, and if you know what you're doing, then this transceiver really comes into its own, and that's why it's preferred by guides and professional rescuers who really do understand all its features and controls and can get the most out of it. The people who aren't guides and professional rescuers who buy it, they of course can use it in completely automatic mode, which is fine. And it's very, very good simple transceiver, but of course you're paying more for features that you're not really using. Even Barryvox make the Barryvox rather than the Barryvox S is really the same as this transceiver in its simple use mode with all the extra options taken away. Okay, but it is a very interesting transceiver, and if for someone who aspires to start off now and increase their avalanche knowledge and skills, it may be a transceiver that you can grow into and you can set it up just how you like. So inside the box we have the manual and warranty card, as you would expect, and then the transceiver with a bit of a disclaimer warning on the front. Just peel that away. Okay, and underneath you've got the batteries. Put the transceiver down there, and then you've got the batteries inside, 3 AA batteries not installed, and we've got the harness and pocket lanyard. Nearly all transceivers come with pocket lanyards now, so it loops around the transceiver and has a clip on the other end, so make sure that you clip it onto your belt loop or something inside your pocket so you can't drop it. Okay, have a quick look at the harness. The harness is a fairly stiff, not completely rigid, but quite stiff moulded box. Okay, so I never actually, which has your shoulder strap and belt loop. There's your shoulder strap and belt loop, as you'd imagine, and then the, looks like the transceiver goes in that way up. Transceiver just drops into the top there and does up, so it's locked and you can see the buttons on the top. Here's the Mammut body holster in action. Got a chest strap and a waist strap, elasticated waist strap, and just an adjustable chest strap, so again I can work out where exactly I feel comfortable holding the transceiver. I realised in assembling the transceiver that the pocket lanyard is actually a lanyard that is always attached to the transceiver, so rather than just, not only do you use it in your pocket, but also you use it to attach the transceiver to the case again, so you can't drop the transceiver. Okay, so but you can simple clip and you can take it off and clip it onto somewhere else on your body. So the transceiver drops into the case, screen towards you, and it's just a little holder at the bottom, just drops in very easily, and a little clip goes over the top. Okay, and to get it out, you just flick that clip and pull it forwards and out. So very easy, comfortable harness to use. Okay, so the Barryvox S has 5 buttons really. So we have the mark button on the front, which also doubles as the enter button. On the top we've got the selector switch, off, send and search, and a lock button that we have to push down to move the selector switch. And on the sides we've got a black, in black, on black, we've got up and down arrows. And the reason they're in black is that they're only used to adjust the settings in the transceiver, but take no part in the search role. Okay, so the only buttons that get used in the search role are orange, which is a colour scheme that Mammut are going for in a similar way that the clip on the front of the transceiver that you use to release, to get the transceiver out, is also orange. Okay, and on their packs and like on their probes and shovels, the buckles and zips that lead to those compartments to contain those things are also orange. So it's a bit of a scheme they're going for. Okay, so turn on the Pulse S, we have to push down, so no you don't. So in its standard mode, it'll go from off onto send without pressing anything else. So easy to turn on. But on the screen now, because it's the first time it's been used, it's asking me what language I'd like to set it, because it's going to go through a bit of a setup. So click it down once at English and then click the flag button to enter. Okay, and now it asks me to register my transceiver and get my warranty extended from 2 years to 5 years. So that seems like a pretty good idea, but I'll go for later. And now it goes into its self-check, group check, startup routine. Okay, and there it's sending. One thing you notice about the screen on the Barryvox S is it's a full pixel screen. So most transceiver screens, in fact all of them apart from this one, the screens themselves are made up of preset icons. So there's the search icon and the one transceiver icon, two, and the screen can either turn them on or off. But the Barryvox S has a much more complicated digital screen than that, which allows it to basically display any graphic you like. So you can do animations and all sorts of things with it. So it does get a lot more information to you. So it's gone into power save mode there and gone off. If I press a button, it'll just come back on again. Okay. So if I wanted to go into search mode now, I can't go into search mode without pressing the lock button. So press the lock button down and go across to search mode. Okay, and then this little red tab sticks out the side. Okay, if you look at the screen now, it's displaying a graphic that wants me to do a course search. But rather than just the double dots that you get on a lot of transceivers, you've actually got a man doing a course search pattern, and in the top corner here it says 70 meters. So let's remind you that this transceiver has an amazing range. So the search strip width, which is the bit that changes from black to white as the man runs down the arrow, that can be 70 meters wide. So from the center where he is, it extends 35 meters either side of him, which is massive because on most transceivers it is a 40 meter search strip, so 20 meters either side. So in theory the Barryvox S can cover the same ground in half as many diagonals. Okay, I always treat these with a pinch of salt. So if it said 20 I might do 15, and if it says 70 I might do 50. But still, you're going to cover the ground much faster with a wider search strip width. Okay, and the transceiver is not receiving a signal, so it just keeps displaying that graphic and as I run around. To go back into send mode, which is always an important feature because of secondary avalanches, all I have to do is this button that sticks out on the side now, I just have to push that back in and I go, it says switch to send, 3, 2, 1, go. Now it's back to sending again. I'll just show you one other quick feature. If I go back to search, when I go back like that, it says to rescue send. So I'm going to press my button there and go into rescue send. Okay, now rescue send is a mode that is temporarily disabled the transceiver. So it is neither receiving signals for a searcher or sending out a signal. And the reason for that is that assumes I'm at the site of a rescue, but I don't want to confuse the situation by having my transceiver transmitting. Most transceivers cope with that by just putting them into search mode. But then of course you've got lots of noise, and if there's a signal out there, you're hearing lots of different transceivers pick up that signal and all beep at, which is confusing to the one person who's actually searching. So rescue send basically means that this transceiver is dormant, but what it's really doing now is it's waiting for me to, what it's monitoring, is that if I didn't move the transceiver around as if I was walking around helping in a rescue, so if I got avalanche now, if I didn't move for 5 minutes, it would then go back onto transmit mode. So it would auto revert back to transmitting because it'd be worried that I hadn't moved for too long. Once I've finished with rescue send mode, I have two options for going back into standard send. I can turn the transceiver off and back on again, or I can, using the black buttons on the side, I can scroll. This is rescue send icon there in black. I can flick up to the send icon, switch to send, yes, and it goes into standard send mode. But when I'm in rescue send, search, okay, then back, activate rescue send. Okay, when I'm in rescue send, if I go into search to help out, then I do some searching and then I go back in again, it will go back to rescue send. So once you've activated rescue send, it goes backwards and forward to rescue send, and then to get back to normal send I have to turn it off completely or switch to send, yes. Okay, very good feature, rescue send. As I said before, most of the features of the Barryvox S can be configured by the user, turned on or off or adjusted. So it really is an amazing transceiver if you have the time to learn how to use it and you use it regularly enough that you don't forget. Okay, the good thing is that, if you have one, you can always use it in its fully automatic mode. So, that's really good. But you perhaps don't need to invest in having those features if you're never going to use them. So that's physically what it looks like. There is a sort of current theme for Bluetooth enabled transceivers so that they can be updated by the user, but Barryvox have always had a slightly different theory on that, is that because it's such a complicated device with accelerometers and an internal compass, Barryvox always want you to return your transceiver to an authorised dealer for a 3-yearly check to make sure that everything is still working as it should be and to recalibrate the transceiver. So that's a bit of a problem or a bit of a task. It's a safety device that you may or may not ever want to use, but every 3 years it's rigorously tested and you know that it is working properly. So it is an interesting take on it, and the other companies definitely don't want the hassle of asking people to do that. It's a bit like the service schedule on your car, when you get in and turn it on, it says you need to service me. So at that point you send it back to someone just like FaceWest. If you buy your transceiver from FaceWest, we will always do the updates for free. At that point we would always renew the software when we test it. And if a new bit of software came out, we would email you saying, okay, there's new software for your transceiver, would you like to send it to us to update it? So a bit different than the other transceivers on the servicing schedule, but quite a good system nonetheless. Okay, so that is the Barryvox S.